Powered by Riverside FM.
For over 2 centuries, a tiny island has guarded one of the greatest treasure hunts in history. Buried secrets, ingenious booby traps, and unimaginable riches. Or perhaps just an elaborate hoax. We're diving into the relentless and enigmatic modern quest for the Oak Island treasure. Will the Laguna brothers finally unearth the truth, or will the island claim another season of mystery? Tonight on Newsworthy, 2 words and 2 question marks.
He's alive! Have you checked the children? Get out!
You have scoured the podcast world and finally found us, Newsworthy with Steve and Jerry, where we delve into all things mysterious, macabre, or out of this world, and decide if they are truly newsworthy. 2 words and 2 question marks.
Hi, this is Ed Locke with USA Mortgage. When it comes to buying a home, the process can be overwhelming and confusing. With so many options, it can be hard to know where to start. That's why it's important to work with a certified mortgage loan originator. I have the knowledge and expertise to guide you through the process and find the best mortgage option for you. I will work with you every step of the way to ensure that you are getting the best deal possible. So if you're looking to purchase or refinance, please reach out to me at 502-680-0953. So don't take on the stress of buying a home alone. Work with me and I will make your dream a reality. Trust the professionals and make your home buying experience a positive one. MLS ID 448908, DAS Acquisition Company, LLC, doing business as USA Mortgage, MLS ID 227262. This is not a commitment to lend. Additional terms and conditions apply. USA Mortgage is equal housing opportunity.
Woo-hoo!
Let's go.
Brent likes that part. Jerry's like, I don't know why y'all put that in here. Welcome to
Both of you
Newsworthy.
love
2
it.
words, 2 question marks. I'm Steve.
I'm Brett.
And I'm Jerry.
Welcome to have you. Glad to have you here, man.
Get
Or
to the
ladies.
podcast that always starts on time.
That's right.
Every week.
It even if it's
Well,
off
without
time,
fail.
it's on time. Is that how that goes? What's that old saying?
I don't know.
You know,
I'm not old, so I don't know any old things.
that's just true. Very good. You don't have a gray hair on your body. Dang.
The old guy of the group is the
I
one's
do-
turn to quote them.
I do have missing hair on my body.
Well, I mean,
A big
that,
chunk of it.
that makes 2 of you.
Oh, man.
So anyway, I have great news. I mean that. Seriously.
Good. What is it?
This week, I was certified clean and free of cancer.
Well, that's pretty
Nice.
awesome.
I was waiting for the joke, but
No joke.
Oh, it's
That
awesome.
is
No
awesome
joke.
news.
You're talking about, I'd been 2
I
years.
forgot that you said that you went to that.
And when I had my motorcycle accident, they had found something.
Right.
You talk about fear
Yeah.
and anger and grief and went through the whole roller coaster of emotions last week, and just walking back into a cancer center, what is it called? A doctor of oncology is enough to make you want to crap yourself. I'm not gonna lie. And went in and did the CT scan, and all good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty stoked with that. Also, big news, changed my brokerage last week.
You're busy.
Whew, been busy since I changed brokerages. Heart of Kentucky Real Estate. Give us a call. We'll take care of you anywhere in Central Kentucky.
There you go.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hijack the show, but I thought that was pretty good.
I wish
Pretty
we
big
could
news.
still look and see where our listeners are. Yeah,
We
remember-
can, some.
Really?
Yeah.
So I remember you guys doing that. I mean, I don't know if it was every episode, but I remember when I first started listening, it was like Oh yeah, we gained listeners in China or California or
That was Libsyn, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were able to pretty
Yeah,
much
really
down to
good.
what side of the street you were on.
Yeah.
It was pretty
really
no,
awesome.
that's super cool.
By city and all that.
We still have access to like places. And thank you to our loyal contingent of listeners in Slovakia. We love Slovakia. I've never been there. Would like to go. Hopefully we get to meet you. Also, because of my sticker campaign in San Juan has moved up the list.
Tell them the story behind that. People who didn't hear that originally, they're going to be like, "What the hell?"
So like I went to San Juan, Puerto Rico early this year, late last year, I don't remember. And in San Juan, they have these posts, and there's all these places that are stickerfied, if you will. They have stickers everywhere. Well, I had a whole pocket full of newsworthy stickers. And anytime I'd see a post or a window where these stickers were allowed, I'd put our sticker up, including the bathroom of this awesome pizzeria in downtown San Juan. You literally have to walk through a closet to go upstairs to the pizzeria. But when you get upstairs, it's like a whole different world. It's amazing. Food was amazing. It's crazy you have to go to the Caribbean to get great pizza, and it was delicious. But inside the men's bathroom, on the walls, were all these stickers. And I'm sitting there doing my business. I'm like, what the hell? I'll put a sticker up. And one of our listeners scanned the sticker, came on, even sent us a message saying, hey, I found your podcast through a bathroom wall in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
That was hilarious.
I will say this. It takes a good size set of kahunas to go online and admit that you are getting your listeners, you're finding your new listeners for your podcast from men's restrooms in other countries. I'm just saying. Kudos to you.
You can't do that in America because the ones in America is all like 10 likes. Call for a good time. We don't want you to call for a good time. We just want you to call for a long time. I broke Jerry already.
Oh, me, oh my.
I love it. I love it. How you guys doing?
Doing great and getting better.
So we got a couple of older people getting older in the next few weeks, right?
That's right.
Yeah, pretty stoked by that.
Jerry.
Brett's going to have one gray hair pop up next week.
Ugh.
How did you get no gray hair? My poor boy, Josh, he's got like his whole head's gray. I don't know how that
At least he
happened.
has hair. I tell people all the time, I would much rather have gray hair than no hair, which is where I'm leaning towards.
Okay.
So, but no.
Thank you, Mama.
Yeah, a police officer did come to my house though the other day.
Really?
Yeah, asked me where I was between 5 and 6. Yeah, he was kind of frustrated when I told him kindergarten.
Place to be. That
Was it Nick?
Luckily, he's out of my jurisdiction.
Oh, good. Me too, because I feel like he would just pull us over to mess with us.
I mean, he would. Yeah, if I ever did anything wrong, he would slam me so easily.
So here's the thing. Nick, my youngest son, to those who don't know, is is a police officer in a pretty large jurisdiction. Won't say which one, but he sent me a video today, and in my mind, Nick is the officer that goes around to the schools and he talks to people and he does the occasional mall cop stop. He sent me a video that changed my mind and put the fear of God back in me. It's his dash cam video, and the person is trying to run, and he has to tackle him and put him in cuffs. And I'm like, oh crap, I don't need to see that.
Wait, so like you showed me that video. I thought it was just like a video that would like some of those cop cams will show up on your feed, YouTube feed, TikTok. And I thought that's what it was. And then you said it was him, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, it puts it in. It makes you think. Oh, his job is he's a real cop. You know?
Yeah, and he's told me stuff too. It's
Yeah,
like,
me too. And I try to blame. We have a very if you have a child that's in a harm's way job, you know, my oldest son was in the Marines. So if there was ever a Marine accident, he knew that his first job was to text me, "I'm okay. It wasn't me."
Yeah.
Same with Nick. If in his city there's a police shooting or a shootout or, God forbid, an officer down, and he hears about it, he knows whether I've heard about it or not. He needs to send me a text. Otherwise, as soon as I do, you know, your worry is, oh, that's
Sure.
and you never want that.
Yeah.
Also, it's never a good thing when the cops are looking for one of your neighbors and they knock on your door and your son is a police officer, because your first instinct is something negative has happened. And I had a very pointed conversation with some sheriff's office last week about that. I was like, listen, you will never have to come to our house for anything police related. And if you do, do not wear your uniform. And here's why. And they're like, oh, crap, we're so sorry.
yeah. Dude, Nick is like, I think I've kind of like started hanging out with you guys when Nick was in middle school,
Yeah.
probably. And he is literally the best guy to be a police officer. Like, he is the complete, if you think of like a bad police officer, he's the complete opposite of that. Like,
Yeah.
in every way.
Calm, laid back,
I
very
mean,
light.
just
Very, yeah.
I often will
Absolutely.
tell people,
Very humble,
and you know, people brag on their children, but I would call a duck a duck. All right. In the position in the place that Nicholas works, they needed him more than he needed them, just because he is a good representation of the police force.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm so proud of all of my boys for everything that's done. I don't know why we got off on that. But
Yeah, anyways.
tonight, Cursed Treasure. Jerry, how was your week, by the way?
It was good. I have some good news as well.
Oh,
I was able to get over my addiction to chocolate, marshmallow, and nuts this
Oh, yeah?
past week.
you had 3 different
I
addictions?
did.
Fuck, I love
I can't lie.
marshmallows.
It was a rocky road.
Oh. Wow.
Not even a congratulations, just a wow. Huh?
Congrats.
Must have really impressed you on that one.
I really like marshmallows, but I don't know why you would combine them with nuts. That's doesn't make any sense to me in my head.
Yeah, I'll pray for you.
Thanks.
When I was a kid, did you guys ever do that? I would, when I was home by myself, we'd have some marshmallows. I would make s'mores in the microwave.
No, never did
Did you ever
that.
do that?
I wasn't smart enough to do that, and we didn't have a microwave.
Oh, well. Yeah, you guys were old. I forgot. Microwaves probably
No,
weren't
we were
invented
poor. There's a difference.
Yeah, let's not lie. I'm pretty sure there were no microwaves when we were.
No. My aunt had a microwave. It was like as big as a kitchen table, but she had one. It probably had enough radiation to like light up and show on a Geiger counter.
Do you remember now how many seconds it would take, like 2 or something, to melt a
It
marshmallow?
was like less than 30. Yeah,
Oh, it couldn't be long at all.
I couldn't remember, but I remember it would get real big and it'd be like real, like just gooey. And
I
I'd
hate
get
microwaves.
put it on the graham cracker and put the chocolate right on it, and just start melting. I'd eat that all the time.
I hate microwaves.
Still?
Still,
Why?
the only thing I do in a microwave is bake potatoes. Literally.
You don't warm things up in a microwave?
No, I hate them because it makes everything hard.
So you don't like
You do,
you don't like
right?
leftovers though, right?
Why would you? It was great the first time.
What do you?
Well,
It's
why didn't you say that when he asked, do you not reheat things?
I just
You
did.
said, no, you said it makes it hard, but it turns
It
out you
does.
don't reheat things because you don't eat leftovers.
Rude.
That's the truth.
Sheesh.
I love leftovers.
So do I.
You don't have to do anything. You just go in
There's
the
the
fridge,
meal.
pick it up, boom, done.
So what? Real quick.
So we were getting also.
Yeah. Well, we have had amongst us 3. We are trying to develop the best bread recipes. Right. Jerry's got it almost to perfection. Brett is a close second. I have yet. I've produced a loaf of dough. It was pretty terrible. And then I lost my starter to mold. So it went away. So I started a new starter, and it was doing wonderfully. Robin burned it up in the oven. So I'm on my third starter and no bread yet. Just so y'all
You
know.
should have told. I would have brought you some starter too because
I
I
offered to
have
do
too
that
many.
as
Yeah.
well.
It's about the process now.
Yeah.
I want to do it from scratch. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you made your own starter?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's in the fridge now. Yesterday it doubled in size, and I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's too much. So back in you go.
That's when you
So-
make the bread.
Well, it's only I've only fed it twice.
Doesn't really matter when it's
I
active
fed
and
it as soon
doubling.
as-
It's
yeah.
you can make bread.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Anywho, tonight, cursed treasure, death, destruction, lost, pirates. What else can we talk about in one night?
When I was reading this, I was like, this brings me back to the Goonies. You
Yeah,
guys like the Goonies?
Sure.
I know you guys hate the 80s for some reason. I
the
don't know why.
80s suck.
Even though you grew up in the see when I watched, I was
The
watching,
80s suck.
I was telling them I was watching ET with my kids, and it just every time I watch ET, I'm like, I get this feeling of like jealousy, this intense jealousy of like,
With good reason. It was a
What?
great time.
would have been a great time to grow up.
It absolutely was.
So, anyway, so we're talking about tonight the. As Steve almost spills his whole bottle of wine, we're talking about the Oak Island treasure. So, the Money Pit on Oak Island, located off the coast of Nova Scotia, Canada, is one of the most enduring mysteries in North American history. The story began in 1795 when 16-year-old Daniel McGinnis, while exploring the island, noticed a circular depression in the ground near a large oak tree, with a tackle block hanging from a branch. He enlisted his friends, Anthony Vaughn and John Smith, to investigate, and they began digging and discovered a shaft with layers of logs, charcoal, coconut fiber, and other materials at regular intervals. Early excavations revealed intriguing clues such as a large stone that was 90 feet tall with cryptic inscriptions. This later was translated to suggest that there was some sort of treasure below. There was wooden platforms every 10 feet. However, the diggers encountered flooding, which was believed to be caused by booby traps or natural water channels that was halting the progress. This marked the beginning of over 2 centuries of treasure hunting expeditions, with countless teams and investors drawn to the site. The pit's origins remain speculative still, and we'll get into that a little bit later, but theories suggest that it could be a repository for pirate treasure, Knights Templar artifacts, or even lost colonial riches. So, a few legends that surround the Money Pit. First off, the Money Pit has spawned numerous legends fueled by tantalizing discoveries, as I was saying. The first being that it is pirate treasure. One popular theory links the pit to pirates such as Captain William Kidd or Blackbeard, who may have buried their loot on Oak Island. The presence of coconut fiber that was its material not native to the region supports this idea, as it was commonly used by sailors for rigging. The Knights Templar and Holy Grail, which is a topic we should definitely cover.
Totally agree.
Which we haven't even covered. I don't think we've ever covered that. Some speculate the pit hides treasures of the Knights Templar, including the Holy Grail or even the Ark of the Covenant. Proponents point to an alleged connections between the Templars, who fled Europe in the 14th century, and the sophisticated construction techniques found on the island. The Baconian theory is another legend tied to the pits. It ties to Sir Francis Bacon. Great name. Suggesting he hid manuscripts proving he authored Shakespeare's work. The pit's complex design and the discovery of parchment fragments fuel this theory. That's a wild theory. Some guy saying that he authored Shakespeare's works, which, I mean, Shakespeare is probably the greatest writer of all time.
Easily. Outside the Bible.
Besides the Bible, right,
Absolutely.
and that's exactly what that was. Yeah, besides the Bible, I mean, there's nobody that even comes close to him.
I would agree.
The Curse of Oak Island. So, a persistent legend claims that the treasure will only be revealed after 7 deaths occur. 6 treasure hunters have actually died in accidents related to the pit, which is just adding to to its overall lore and legend. And then lastly, just lost colonial riches. Some people believe that the pit contains wealth hidden during colonial conflicts, such as the French or British treasures stashed to avoid seizure during the American Revolution or the French and Indian War. So yeah, I mean that this is as I was saying, this kind of reminded me a little bit of Goonies, where you get this 16-year-old who just comes across this huge cavern that was built. I mean, just thinking about if I would have found this I mean, just imagine getting to explore this place that probably hasn't been touched in hundreds of years. Yeah, and so and another thing I was thinking about too is we were talking about this a little bit earlier. So like, can you imagine? I don't know how do you remember how big this island was?
I do not.
But if you think about, because we were talking about that you had, myths and legends of treasure in the area that you grew up.
Sure.
And what a way to get people interested in your area. Like,
if you're trying to promote tourism, what better possible way?
I mean, just imagine the amount of people who want to come. I don't know if they actually, Steve may know, but if they actually still have people going to this area. So we were talking about, we kind of went through all the legends of the money pit at Oak Island.
Dude.
It's a 140-acre island.
100. So, and what Jerry and I were talking earlier, he was talking about how they had myths of treasure in the area that he grew up in. Immediately I was thinking, what better way to get people to come to your area, to whether it be tourists, whether it be businesses, investors, than to be like, oh yeah, we got this money pit here.
Here's the thing.
Treasure. Yeah.
But you got to be willing to allow people to come look for it with shovels. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference.
Well, this pit was already built. And another thing, the booby trap of like the water just flooding the whole area. I mean, this is straight out of Goonies, dude.
It's privately owned. I didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
It's a privately owned island.
Wow. Can you imagine owning this thing?
And pretty much anywhere you go, especially in the South, there's where I'm from in Harrison County in Cynthiana, Kentucky. There is a rumor of General John Hunt Morgan was one of the Confederate generals that he actually raided the city 3 times, burned it to the ground twice, and we named a bridge after him.
Really?
Go figure. Yeah. But he had the Confederate payroll that was lost. All gold and silver coins, and that's rumored to be somewhere around the Licking River.
That's what he's saying. He was like, "You never heard any." I'd never heard anything.
Really?
I bet there are some for Lawrenceburg.
Oh, I'm
I've
sure.
never heard anything.
So, you just have to. Most every county, especially in the South or in an area where there were conflict, there's something. Or you have the rich widow who buried her stuff out in the backyard and it's never been found. That's.
And yeah, 95% of those were rumors. Just someone that people thought was rich. Maybe they really didn't have anything. And when they died, they didn't have anything, so nothing was found. Well, that just starts rumors of, they buried it. It was wherever. So it doesn't take much to get these rumors started. And people love to tell stories of lost treasure.
Yeah. In the Appalachian Mountains in eastern Kentucky, in the 1700s, there was apparently a silver mound that was found. That nobody knows where it is, that has billions of dollars of silver. I could even talk to you about some of the issues in North Carolina where the hurricanes hit, about the lithium discoveries there. That's a conspiracy theory for a whole different show. We won't go into that.
Wow. That's recent, too.
In Louisville, Kentucky, there's a rumored $20 billion in gold bullion buried somewhere that was the union's payroll.
Wow.
There's a ton of legends about lost payroll from the Civil War. You just hear that so often. Pretty sure there's one of those for Somerset, which is the county directly or the city directly adjacent to Monticello.
Wow, so
as
it seems
well.
like everybody has a.
The one in Somerset is approximately $10 million. It was the Cherokee treasure that the Cherokee had traded and found and stolen from the people that they had raided before they were shipped out to their new places. They buried it in hopes to come back to get it. Today's currency would be worth about $5 million. It's insane. Rockcastle County in Kentucky, $2 million in loot from some pirates. Boone's Hidden Treasure, $3 million.
And see, the pirate thing in Kentucky seems odd to me. We're so
Very.
far from the coast.
Well,
Very
yeah,
odd.
but see, you are thinking pirates in Jack Sparrow pirates. They're river pirates.
Okay.
There's lake pirates.
Right.
We have two of the largest freshwater lakes in the United States, in Lake Barkley and Kentucky Lake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
By the way, Brett, according to AI, you are correct. It says, while no specific tales of lost treasures tied directly to the town of Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, emerged from the search results, it is worth noting that, as Steve has been saying, that Kentucky has a rich history filled with legends and actual discoveries of buried riches. So, yeah.
there's
Apparently there is none
a
here.
rumored lost Spanish treasure somewhere buried or at least exposed in Mammoth Cave, totaling $10 million.
And that makes zero sense.
Why?
Again, it's kind of like he was saying. It's just, no, too far away. When were the large numbers of Spanish in this area with huge amounts of money?
I don't know. I'm
Exactly.
just saying.
Southeast.
But part of it would be Mammoth Cave is so huge, you can easily imagine I wonder what, this was used for hundreds of years ago.
There's rumors that Jesse James, who was killed in 1882, actually buried hidden treasure somewhere in Kentucky of over $3 million, which in today's money is somewhere around $5 to $7 million. Crazy. I didn't mean to get off on tangent, but you asked. So I thought
No, yeah, 100%. And that's what I was telling Jerry too. Is just like a 16-year-old found this money in this pit that supposedly has some sort of treasure in it, and the fact that there is booby traps. I mean, it's very interesting. I'm excited to see what you're going to talk about.
Well, General John Morgan, just to circle back around to that, because I know the most about that. He was known as Thunderbolt of the Confederacy. He was the guy who would go in and just very early blitzkrieg. He would go in and raid, and he actually probably did as much damage to the Confederacy for bringing people against him as he did for the Confederacy, as far as all the raids that he did. But the reported treasure that he lost stealing from the Union lines is somewhere in the ballpark of 1.5 million at their time, somewhere 6 to 9 million at our money. Can you imagine out there? And I have a metal detector. I love doing this stuff. I go out all the time. The best thing I've ever found was a Mustang emblem.
That's kind of cool, though.
Yeah, it was. Oh, and I found a cool, in my very backyard, I found a chandelier, not a chandelier. What are those things? A wind chime made out of spoons, flattened spoons. It's
Wow,
cool.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I have it hanging out on the back porch. But I love that stuff. Me and my buddy Stephanie, we go to Indiana and pan for gold. But can you imagine finding $6 million in gold bullion? That'd be freaking amazing.
Yeah,
Wouldn't it, though?
I mean, any of this stuff. I mean, the fact that there's all these like religious artifacts, which I was telling Jerry too, we should definitely cover the Knights Templar and the Holy Grail. Even the Ark of the Covenant, I think, would be an awesome episode. But just the fact that there's rumors that some of this stuff would be in it, which would be, I mean, if you found any of that stuff, I mean, it would be insane.
Dude.
I mean, you can't even put a price on any of that.
the movie Constantine with the Spear of Destiny and how all that stuff, that is some scare. I don't know that I'd ever want to find that. And I was watching a thing about the Ark of the Covenant. That would be so terrifying to find. I can't wait to do an episode on it again. Let's do it.
Why would it be so terrifying?
Because it's a weapon. By all accounts, the Ark of the
No,
Covenant
not
is
by
a
all
weapon.
accounts.
Yes.
We
Not
can
according to the
discuss.
Bible.
Save for
Show
the
me in the
episode,
Bible where
right?
Even in the Bible,
It's
the
not.
things that happen to the people who are not supposed to be near the Ark of the Covenant is
Sure, absolutely.
is
That's
absolutely
a big difference from what's in there being a weapon.
no. I'm saying the fact that you aren't supposed to be near it or with it, all of those facts, and if you read in the Bible, the things that happen to people who get near it who aren't supposed to, all look very eerily like radiation poisoning. It's kind of creepy.
We definitely got to do an episode on that.
And Knights Templar, I can't believe we've never.
But that's
I
not what
know.
we're doing tonight. Guess what we're doing tonight?
What are we doing today?
Oak Island, man.
Stop
Tell
it.
us
What are you?
Tell us about the treasure, Jerry. Let's bring it back. Oh, let me try this.
You guys,
Steve has finished 2 bottles, just so y'all know.
I have finished 1 bottle. Do not lie. It's an extra big bottle, but it's only 1 bottle.
to make that even sound better, you need to use the big glass that holds the entire thing, and then say, "I just had 1 glass."
That's freaking brilliant. Or just put the funnel on top.
There you go.
Just that works.
But I don't know what you call that makes it sound better than 1 glass.
True fact.
Anyway, for over a decade now, the names Marty and Rick Lagina have become synonymous with the Oak Island mystery, largely thanks to the hit television series The Curse of Oak Island. Have either of you guys ever saw any of that?
I've heard of it.
I've actually watched a few episodes. It's very good.
Now, let me, and I don't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
The old book that everybody was forced to read in elementary school,
I didn't read it.
the Oak Treasure
Oak
Island.
Island.
Treasure
Treasure
Island.
Island,
Is
yeah.
that?
Oh, whoa, Treasure Island. No, no,
Yeah.
no.
Is this?
No.
Okay.
That's not the same thing.
Who wrote that?
I don't
Robert Stevenson.
Yes.
Robert Louis Stevenson?
Robert Louis Stevenson. Yeah.
Awesome book.
You know what's so
I
funny?
love that book.
Is we truly. Anyways, I'll get into it later. Whatever. I just looked at that book. That's why I knew that.
I reread it probably 2 or 3 years ago. It'd been 10 or 15
Is
years
it good?
since I'd read it. I loved it again.
I'll have to read
Absolutely.
it then.
One of the nice things about being as old as I am, which is older than dirt, according to Steve, is I'm old enough now that I can go back and read books that I haven't read for 15, 20 years and enjoy the heck out of it.
I don't say you're old as dirt. I'm just saying that your social security number is 1. When God said, "Let there be light," Jerry flipped the switch.
Exactly. Anyway, Marty and Rick Lagina. Back to these guys. These Michigan brothers, with a long-time fascination with the legend, they have transformed the casual weekend dig, which is what a lot of people do, right? You get interested in some treasure, you go out on the weekends, as Steve was saying, you and your buddy go to Indiana. But they've took a little bit different approach. They've transformed the casual weekend dig into a full-scale, incredibly well-funded, and technologically advanced operation. Their efforts are characterized by an unwavering commitment, bringing in teams of experts from various fields: geologists, drillers, historians, metal detecting specialists, even neuroscientists. Their approach stands in stark contrast to the previous treasure hunters, who often relied on brute force, sheer luck. The Laginas have meticulously researched past attempts, trying to learn from historical successes and, more often, their failures. And they've assembled a dedicated team. They've invested millions of their own money, millions of dollars of their own money, driven by a deep-seated desire, not just for the treasure, but to finally solve one of the world's most enduring, Steve's favorite word, enigmas. Their efforts have kept the legend alive for a new generation, bringing the frustrations, breakthroughs, and mind-boggling scale of the problem into millions of homes. Now, what truly distinguishes the Lagina brothers' hunt from all those who came before them is their unprecedented application of modern technological advances. This isn't just a bunch of guys with shovels. This is science meeting legend. They've employed core drilling operations that can punch boreholes hundreds of feet down. They bring up samples of earth, wood, even metal from areas that previous explorers could only dream of reaching. Ground penetrating radar allows them to map anomalies deep underground. It also allows them to identify potential tunnels, voids, or buried objects without disturbing the surface. Specialized sonar and underwater cameras have been deployed in the various boreholes and even in the infamous Money Pit itself, peering into the murky depths where no human diver could ever safely go. They've used caissons, massive steel cylinders that can be sunk to create safe, dry shafts through unstable earth, which allows physical access to depths previously thought impossible. They've also used MRI units adapted for geological use, seismic surveys, and even specialized vacuum trucks capable of sucking up tons of sediment from deep holes. These technologies allow for precise targeting, detailed analysis of findings, and a level of safety and data collection. I'm sorry, what did you have to say, Steve? You're right over there? All right, I'm sorry, he just needs some more wine, I think. He'll be fine. Just give him a minute. And these technologies allow for precise targeting, detailed analysis of findings, and a level of safety and data collection. Dude, are you okay? Are you sure? I'm not so sure. Don't worry, we're praying for you. Even somewhere at your advanced age, I'm sure you can pull through this. But anyway, back on topic. Yet despite all this incredible technology, with everything that they have done, the island's legendary defenses remain very formidable. The biggest challenges they face are the infamous booby trap flood tunnels that Brett was talking about, and the island's tricky, often deceptive geology. The legend of the Money Pit includes elaborate flood tunnels believed to have been engineered by the original depositors, or so some of the theories say. These tunnels reportedly connecting to the pit of the ocean are designed to flood the workings, thwarting any attempts to reach the treasure. And the Laginas have encountered these tunnels repeatedly. Massive influx of seawater have flooded their excavations, proving that these ancient defenses are very real, whether man-made or not. Battling these flood tunnels has consumed immense resources and time, often forcing them to adopt their strategies, attempting to cut off the water or to simply pump it faster. Adding to the complexity is Oak Island's natural geology. The island itself is a mixture of glacial till, loose overburden, and underlying limestone riddled with natural voids and caverns. This obviously makes drilling and excavation incredibly unpredictable and dangerous. What appears to be a tunnel on a scan could simply be a natural fissure, which seems like solid ground. What seems like solid ground can suddenly give way. The geology itself seems to conspire against them, making it nearly impossible to distinguish natural formations from ancient man-made structures. Now, despite these immense challenges, the modern hunt continues to yield recent claims and intriguing discoveries. For instance, a recent wave of excitement in 2024 circulated around reports of specific coin finds and even the possible discovery of a chalice, hinting at a potentially momentous breakthrough. These claims, often presented on the show, suggest incredible progress, and they reinforce the idea that definitive proof of a valuable treasure is finally within reach. The narrative suggests ancient artifacts, possibly tied to Templar legends or other historical hoards, are finally emerging from the depths. Now, it's crucial to acknowledge the persistent skepticism that surrounds these finds. While the Laginas and their team are undeniably unearthing numerous artifacts, old coins, bits of pottery, to pieces of wood and remnants of past digs, the key question for many remain: do these discoveries definitively prove a grand treasure hoard, or are they simply remnants of centuries of human activity on the island, including previous treasure hunts? So, even with the incredible technology that they've brought to bear, even with the millions and millions of dollars that they've been spent, they found a lot of interesting items. The treasure has not been found. So if it's there, it still remains hidden in the island.
A deep hole.
Very deep hole.
I
glad
don't
that
know
you
why that
recovered.
broke me apart. You know what I don't understand?
What?
Is why you would spend all this money, time, and energy just to perpetrate a hoax.
Oh, I mean, 100%. I think that they believe that there's something. Obviously, they're not just throwing their money away.
Maybe, but there are allegations out there that they have actually planted some of the things that they found, planted or staged even for dramatic effect to get more money to dig more. You know, that's some of the things I don't understand. Not only that, there are even rumors that during the filming of that show that they did numerous reshoots just to make it more dramatic or
Right.
make it less like. You're probably not, but Jerry, you're old enough to remember Al Capone's tomb
Sure.
that Geraldo Rivera found all night. It was like a 3-hour thing, and they finally broke through the wall, and it was just a dirt-filled nothing.
Yep.
You know, it sounds like a lot of that is this, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially with a show. I mean, you need it to get viewers, and you need people to stay engaged. Yeah,
And the difference, sorry to interrupt, the difference between this and the show that he's referring to, that was a one-time show.
right.
Yeah.
2 hours, 3 hours, however long it was. And at the end of the show, it's done.
Right.
This is an ongoing series, or was for a period of time. They not only need you to watch for their 2 hours, they need you to come back next week and watch again and
Right.
again and again. So obviously, they would have the opportunity to do things that Geraldo Rivera and his crew couldn't. They couldn't go back and re-edit and make live. That one was filmed live or
Yeah,
shown
sure
live.
was. And
So-
they ended up finding a couple of beer bottles or something.
Yeah.
That did actually date to Capone's Tom, but it
Yep.
wasn't the thing. But the reason I bring that up is so many shows involving the things and the topics that we talk about today are, what's the word I'm looking for? Sensationalized.
Sure.
100%.
And in doing that, you take away the real component of real,
I agree.
of real exploration, of real trying to pin the tail on the donkey, if you will. I just it makes me almost angry sometimes. If you don't find anything in X, say, hey, you know what? We scratched out. We didn't find anything here. But maybe if we move to Y, we can find, as opposed to planting evidence or planting this or that. It would make more sense to me, and I would actually be more intrigued if you just said, okay, this spot's a dud. We're going to move 25 feet this way
I
and
agree.
start over.
I agree. Do you know how long this show aired?
No.
Yes.
2 years.
That's what I was going to guess. 2 years.
12 seasons.
Unbelievable.
The
No
Curse of
way.
Oak Island, reality, 12 seasons. I don't care if there was treasure and you found it. I don't know how you stretched it out for 12 seasons.
Well, see, we can barely do one episode on this. I mean, I'm just
Right.
saying, like,
No, you're right.
that's crazy. What
So,
did they do in those episodes? I mean,
I now begin to see how you get 12 seasons. You had to fudge some stuff. You had to over dramatize. I don't
So
know.
are
how
the discoveries are from this episode? Are they from this series?
Yeah.
These same people?
that series followed these people.
Yeah.
And these discoveries, like the chalice, the coins, the pottery, that's all from this. That was all shown on this show.
I'm not for sure. Yes. The program premiered on History Channel on January 6, 2014. The 12th season premiered on November 12, 2024. These items were found in 24. Well, that last season didn't start until November 12th. So, yes, they would have all
See,
been
that does make
aired
me a
on the
little
show.
more skeptical because they have something to gain from.
Yep.
Yeah, they're getting paid.
But also, like, how big is this thing?
Oak Island?
Yeah, no, I mean, just saying this.
The money pit itself.
Right.
Well, they don't know
I mean,
exactly
'cause
where it is.
We're
Part of
talking
the
about
problem.
centuries.
Here's the thing. Yeah, maybe, but here's the thing. In today's day and world, you take an airplane with a LiDAR fixed on the bottom and you scan the whole island and you know within
That's what I'm
23
saying. Like, the
minutes.
technology, we should have been able to find something at this
We've
point.
literally found chambers a mile deep under the pyramids with LiDAR.
Right.
You can't find a little treasure box on an island?
Yeah.
Come on,
That was put
Jack.
there by, yeah,
Here is some of the things that have been found. And this, I'm getting every bit of what I'm about to tell you from wikipedia.org. Not saying
Okay.
it's true, it's just where I got it. Some of the items, coins, and artifacts that have been discovered. A Spanish copper coin that is believed to be dated to the 17th century. A fake
About
Roman
the time
sword.
I bet Jerry helped mint that.
Oh, yeah, exactly. A fake Roman sword. A supposed 12th century manuscript. I don't know how manuscript survives from the 12th century buried underground, but anyway. Small piece of material that may be a piece of an old book, a human bone fragment of Middle Eastern ancestry, a metal hinge, a claimed Roman era shipwreck, ox shoes, a metal panel, and a carved stone slab similar to some on the surface and one dug up in 1804. So that's a brief summary of what has been found.
A brief summary of what's been found in my backyard was a wind chime made of spoons, a Pepsi can, a old nail. I mean,
I agree. This is a very underwhelming list to have spent millions and millions of dollars on, even if you faked it. And one was a fake Roman sword. There's a Roman sword that turned out
Also,
to be
yeah,
fake.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
somebody wanted to add a toy sword.
I'm sorry. You know, we try on this show to really dig, but we are
Dig.
we also call a duck, right?
I think we need to do at least 2 or 3 seasons. We just need to go live in this island.
Just talk to Oak Island.
Investors, we just need a few million. Just, and
Look
We
us
got
up.
we
We'll
got
give
a
you 50%
built-in
of whatever you find.
built-in workforce with Brett's children, so
put them to work.
we'll give them all shovels.
They're pretty good with shovels. They tear up the yard.
So maybe the reason that we haven't found the treasure on Oak Island is because the curse hasn't been lifted yet. It's
Yeah, I
possible.
talked about that a little bit.
The local lore says that 7 people must die before the true treasure is revealed. So far, only 6 deaths has been accounted for. No, you have Jerry's lived a good life. We'll miss him. Me, you,
Sounds
and
like it's time for me to say goodbye.
Hey, maybe I'll finally get my name on the title.
There you go.
well, you probably would at that point, but it would be like an X'd out Jerry, and you'd just be scribbled underneath it. Anywho, the curse has actually become a central narrative in many TV series, and it has been done so to add mysterious and mystique to the thing. And there's actually no historical basis for the curse whatsoever. It reflects as a long-standing supernatural warning to treasure in general, akin to the curse of the Egyptian tombs. Kind of crazy to me that this thing lasted 12 seasons. And I don't have a lot to add to it because everything that I could possibly add to it literally is I have to dig into fakeries.
That blows my mind.
I'm not going to do
12
that.
seasons is ridiculous.
Even if they had found the world's largest treasure, I don't know how you turn that into 12 seasons.
Right. I don't. I think that's a money grab.
I'm going to have to watch this show.
See, that's the problem, Brett. You are part of the problem. You know what else is part of the problem?
What?
Robin told me the other day that she has gotten into yoga.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Surely not.
She's a poser.
Oh, my goodness.
That's the latest dad joke we've ever had.
Yes.
We got a record.
An hour into the
I know, but you know what? Don't get bent out of shape, okay? It's fine. I can stretch it out if I want to.
A joke that does not end.
You know what else?
What is that?
Since this topic is pretty much stupid.
We haven't even done news part of it yet.
I know, but I'm just throwing it out
I
there.
think we know how he's going to vote.
I don't understand these people like Jerry who can't sleep.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, I can do it with my eyes closed.
I agree. So did I for many, many years.
I broke Brett with that one. That's good.
This is all of it. Like, oh, this topic's stupid. I'm just going to say dad jokes for the rest of the episode.
I think we're beyond.
I think we're tapping. So, Jerry, what do you think? Is this newsworthy?
Like Steve was saying, no matter what, we try to call a duck a duck. And that was the original premise of the show. Not to get off target too much, but that was the original premise of the show. We look at topics and say, is it newsworthy? Does it deserve and need more coverage, or has it probably ran its course and doesn't need any more? I think, like you guys have alluded to, that several seasons ago, we probably got to the point of more than enough. Absolutely does not need more news coverage, in my opinion.
Here's, and I'll let you go last. Jerry, you couldn't have said it any better. You know, whether we want to make the story a great podcast or not is irrelevant. Ultimately, it comes down to, is there evidence? Is there enough of a nugget to make us want to see more?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And the answer to the Oak Island treasure is no. I'm in on most things. Aliens, absolutely. Let's hear more. Bigfoot, let's see some pictures. I'm good. Mothman, I saw him on the bridge. Let's do it, right? No, I'm a big 2 thumbs down on Oak Island treasure. Either find the treasure. It's like my grandpa always used to say, the poop or get off the pot. Find it or get off of here. Until you find it, I don't want to hear about it again.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I mean, I was reading this, and like I said, it kind of just brought me back to the Goonies and just like the excitement of adventure and looking for treasure. But yeah, if we haven't found it now, I don't know if we ever will. Especially 12 seasons later, millions and millions of dollars dumped into this thing, best technology we have. There's no way we haven't found anything. So,
I would be. Oh, go ahead, Jerry.
No, I just wanted to say, apparently, the Lagina brothers are beginning to agree. They have already started a spin-off show, which is going to be called The Curse of Civil War Gold. So apparently 12 seasons, and they have figured out this one's run its course, and they're going to start another one.
Smart.
Absolutely. Sorry, Steve, what did you start to?
Well, I'm looking it up right now. So give me
I wonder what their viewership is on that show. I mean, it couldn't have been great after season 1, but I guess it was great enough to where they
got renewed.
Doing it.
Well, let me explain to you why this is such a big deal. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Sure.
The Ricky and Marty, the Lagina brothers, have an estimated worth of over $100 million because of the treasure hunting and the combination of business ventures, including the success of the extended 12 seasons of The Curse of Oak Island.
I want to know, have they ever found anything? What have they found?
I give you the basic summary.
That was it?
That was it.
They get
That's what they've been found.
They're hundreds of
That's what
millions
they
of dollars.
claim. And much of that has been claimed to be fake, and the sword they know is fake.
They literally get tens of thousands per episode, plus earn millions in production fees, licensing, and all the related details, including they co-own Oak Island Tours, which if they find a cup, if they find a coin, that gives them reason to bring people in to look at where they found it. $100 million. You guys are phonies. I'm calling you out. You don't like it? Come on the program and prove us wrong.
And by the way, one of the brothers, I don't remember which, if you're wondering where the $100 million came from, was a retired postal worker. So unless they started giving way bigger salaries to those guys than I know of, they didn't make their money from their jobs. They got it from
we at Newsworthy are announcing that we are going to start treasure hunting. Any investors
immediately.
that would like
We
to
need
donate,
investors
all we need is a measly $100 million, and we will.
We're going to start by finding John Hunt Morgan's treasure.
We've already found a wind chime. And it is 100% real.
I have an absolute amazing metal detector. We are ready to go. We'll buy 2 more on the initial price. I mean, $100 million? Are you kidding me? This is the most open and shut episode we've ever done. And if either of you vote a thumbs up, I'm going to cut your thumb off.
Oh no, I'm thumbs down. Oh man.
2 thumbs down for me.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Gosh. People like this is what make our jobs very difficult in trying to find the real truth of anything. You know, there are legitimate people in every field, in the Bigfoot field, in the alien field, in the cursed treasure field, in the artifacts of whatever field, who are doing legitimate scientific work in trying to make 2 dots connect. And people like this make me so mad because all they're doing is profiting over it.
Yeah.
I don't know why that angers me so
Well,
much.
and like it
Probably a half a bottle of wine.
yeah. Well, I had 2 bottles, but it's fine. But so it kind of frustrates you in the fact that where we've gone to some of these festivals and we've talked to people who've had real encounters. Just plug for the encounters episodes on Mondays.
Every Monday.
So we've talked to people who've had these encounters. These are real people, and they don't gain anything from giving us the 10, 15 minutes on the on this episode.
Not only that, they have a real potential to lose by even talking to us.
So a lot of them didn't want their names out there.
Yeah.
So
Last episode was not a real name person.
Right, you get people like this who are just obvious hoaxes. They're just trying to make a quick buck, quick $100 million.
Yeah.
But it kind of taints the rest of the community.
It
because it
absolutely
all ties into the conspiracies and you're conspiracy theorists, which is just a slur almost now. So it's like, yeah. I don't know. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, we were talking to several of the people at the Bigfoot Festival, the scientists there, that Cliff Barackman, as an example, who is a legitimately trained professor.
Is he the guy who said he'd come on?
Yeah. So we're going to try to get him on.
We need to.
But
that would be awesome.
he's a primate specialist. He's looking at the feet of these things. He's doing it not because he makes millions of dollars sweating at a festival.
Yeah.
He's doing it to spread the word, to spread the knowledge. And then you have jackwads like this that just drive me insane.
Yep.
Jerry, what do you think? I'll give you the final word, Jerry.
I think if you are considering one of the tours and going there, that you could probably quite easily find something far better to do with your
I'm
next
sure the island's
vacation.
pretty.
If you want to pay $100 to go tour this island, you give Jerry, me, and Brett $100, and we're going to take you down to the creek and show you imaginary evidence of fairies and elves.
And we're also going to show you this wonderful wood shop that we found.
Free. We'll throw that in at no additional
No
charge.
additional charge. You can go out and you can hit it and hear it do its thing. It's insane. These people make me so angry, irrationally angry.
I agree.
Gosh. That was an interesting episode, but our journey isn't over yet. If you stay tuned, we have an exciting bonus story coming up after this commercial break.
Hi, this is Ed Locke with USA Mortgage. When it comes to buying a home, the process can be overwhelming and confusing. With so many options, it can be hard to know where to start. That's why it's important to work with a certified mortgage loan originator. I have the knowledge and expertise to guide you through the process and find the best mortgage option for you. I will work with you every step of the way to ensure that you are getting the best deal possible. So if you're looking to purchase or refinance, please reach out to me at 502-680-0953. So don't take on the stress of buying a home alone. Work with me and I will make your dream a reality. Trust the professionals and make your home buying experience a positive one. MLS ID 448908, DAS Acquisition Company, LLC, doing business as USA Mortgage, MLS ID 227262. This is not a commitment to lend. Additional terms and conditions apply. USA Mortgage is equal housing opportunity.
If you would like to share suggestions for future episodes, an intriguing ghost story, or simply tell us how much you love or hate us, please get in touch with us. You can reach us via email at newsworthywithsteveandjerry@gmail.com or send us a text at area code 540-709-1318.
And now, back to the story. From a bunch of frauds to a real live, crazy, unbelievable story. In 1891, during a brutal whale hunt off of the Falkland Islands, 21-year-old James Bartley was hurled into the sea and swallowed whole by a sperm whale. Presumed dead, his crewmates mourned until they opened the whale's stomach and found Bartley alive inside. Nearly 36 hours later, his body was bleached, blistered, and nearly broken, but he had somehow survived the living nightmare. Dubbed the modern Jonah, Bartley's survival blurred the line between myth and miracle. He described his time inside the whale as hellish, with crushing pressure, total darkness, and toxic air. Though he lived, he emerged forever changed, his skin ghostly for the rest of his life, and his mind was forever shaken. Sailors and storytellers clung to his tale as proof that nature holds horrors that we can barely imagine. And sometimes the human spirit is just stubborn enough to come back from the belly of the beast. Today's episode brought to you by our great sponsors, Ed Locke at USA Mortgage and Smoking Gun Jerky of Lincoln, Nebraska. Use code CRYPTID10 for a great discount. And Jerry, if you can't see the light,
Be the light.